Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Elias and welcome back to Age of Engineering. Yes, so this series, welcome back. Last episode we made the solar panel, which is giving us a lot of power. It's actually really doing wonders for us, which is perfect. Now we can actually start working on getting progression and getting the space a little bit better. So I'll be honest, I kind of forced this all on myself. Not gonna lie, the kind of restriction of different buildings for different mods, while it's gonna make this area look really cool and it gives me an excuse to kind of build and all that kind of stuff, it is going to take this series a long time to get progression because I'm going to need an insane amount of like power cables and all that kind of stuff, or tesseracts eventually, and or I guess the dimensional receivers, transceivers, because that is what this pack has, and it's just gonna be kind of messy, especially at this point, because we're not quite ready to. We're not really in the position to have a overflowing of resources, and yeah, that's gonna stop us from getting a lot of stuff done. Now, on the other hand, as we do progress and get more stuff, and more importantly, get through the ages, we're going to be able to automate things a little bit easier, and things are going to be a little bit better in general. For example, one thing that's going to be terrible to make a lot of is electrical steel, which I don't have on here. So if we look at electrical steel, it is pretty nasty to make. And the main reason is because it requires silicon. Now, normal silicon comes from silicon dioxide, which comes from clay dust, which comes from clay, which we can get from a void resource miner, or we can molecular transform dirt. But later we'll be able to do some water vapor injection into dirt to get clay, and it's just, honestly, it's a terrible way to get silicon. But there is another silicon. And I don't know if this one is easy to get, but it is if you have mechanism. Mechanism crushers allow you to make silicon very easily, as well as electric arc furnaces from advanced rocketry. So the basic idea here is that later, and I mean later, mechanism is probably the way we'll go eventually. And that is age 12. We're going to have to go to space before we can make electrical steel easily. And that is not fun. So, yeah, we're going to be kind of struggling. But this episode, we are going to work on something that really needs to be done. And it's going to make my life easier: mining. So today's episode is going to be about making some stuff for mining, making a couple more environmental tech things, maybe, or at least working towards them. And then probably next episode, depending on how much copper I can mine between episodes, we might start working on getting to the next age, the nuclear age. That is going to require a lot of copper, and I mean a ridiculous amount of copper. So that's just kind of where we're at right now. So let's get started. And the first thing I want to start looking at is not electrical steel. But rather, this drill is really good. Don't get me wrong. I like this drill. It has silk touch, it's easy, but it needs to be charged, and it only has a 500,000 RF. As far as I'm aware, we cannot upgrade that. It has one use in a vertical digger. It doesn't really have anything else. So what we need to do is we need to empower it with batteries. And, well, we can make batteries pretty easily, actually. They're not terrible to make. I think we're going to go up to a triple battery, which is 4 million, so it is, what, 8 times as much power, and that is what we're going to use. So in order to make this, we need to get an energy module, which, let's go see if we have any lying in our calculator stuff. This is one of the systems that I'm going to try to get activated with power basically as soon as I can, because any of this small storage stuff that we can get is going to be great. So yeah, unfortunately, like, I've turned this stuff off, mostly because this stuff just doesn't have the power to do much more than what it is. But we need a small storage module, which is power cube and purified coal. So let's start working on that. We've made a lot of this stuff before. We shouldn't have too much issues making it. Is there anything in that chest? No. So we're gonna pick up some chests. I have moved between episodes all of our stuff, including all the trophies. The smeltery is in here. All the random stuff is basically just in those chests. And let's see, we do have a power cube. It has some energy in it, but do I care? Not really. It's 50,000. That's not that much. So we'll go ahead and just use that. And then we need purified coal, which is enriched coal, which is coal coke and coal dust. Oh, I didn't grab that chest because I forgot about that chest, didn't I? Let's check some more chests just to make sure we don't have any of the purified coal or the coal dust. I think, yeah, it's going to be over in the other area. This guy's run out of power, hasn't he? I really need to empower him higher. But as you can see, we can just throw that in there, and this guy doesn't even care. We have so much power. Oh, this guy is powering it, but it's barely doing anything. So, kind of cool. So coal coke, I was actually making a bunch of steel because we are going to need some steel relatively soon. So let's go ahead and grab some of that. We have 13 steel. We have a bunch of coal coke. I'm going to take one, put the rest in there, and then we'll start cooking up the rest of the iron into steel. That is another thing, once we get to mechanism, steel is really easy to make. And that's the biggest thing that we kind of have to deal with, is as we do different things, a lot of the recipes are going to be really, really painful for the time being, but later they're going to be pretty easy. Mechanism makes a lot of things really easy. You can do a lot of really cool, complicated systems to make. I believe mechanism has, it's either 5 or I think it's 5 times or doubling. It might be 6. That is bothering me. We're going to just break that. But the coal dust stuff is in here. So we'll just take that and be on our very merry way. So yeah, we just need to do some calculator stuff and we'll be able to make these batteries. Now, what these batteries are going to allow us to do is, it'll basically allow me to go mining for a lot longer. Now, there is a catch with that. And that's going to be the second thing that we're going to deal with. I need to pick up things a little bit better. Now, I could void a lot of things like stone and all that kind of stuff, but I kind of want to keep it for right now because I have a lot of building to do. And honestly, some of these buildings are going to be made out of stone, cobblestone, that kind of stuff, just because there's going to be a lot of buildings. In fact, one of the things we might start working on today is we're going to need a mechanism room, we're going to need what is it called? The extra utilities. We're going to need an extra utilities room. Now that one doesn't have to be super big, so we might actually just fit it right in this area. But mechanism is going to be pretty big, so we'll probably put it on the corner over here. But it doesn't need to be near power, because those guys all use their own power source. We're going to have probably, I don't know, there's just going to be a lot of stuff. And I need to kind of plot out stuff a little bit better and all that kind of stuff, but we'll get there. So we need enriched gold, rather. And it is scientific calculator, division, there's purified coal, and then there's the energy module. So that should give us pretty much what we need at this point. So what we need to do now is we need Inori crystals and a bunch of advanced coils, which means a bunch of gold cables and black quartz. We're gonna need like a good bit of that. We're gonna need more gold than we have. Gosh, gold is definitely something we need a lot of. And definitely going to be one of the first things I go mining for. So, gold cables, we might have some, but we're going to need more. Let's just kind of look around, see if we have anything. We do have this dense gold plate, which we can macerate it for most of the gold back. We might have to do that. We might have to salvage some gold. But let's see if we have any gold cables over here. We do not. Alright, well, metal former, you are here. Cutting, or is it extruding? That's going to be the best. Metal former, extruding. That will give us 2 levels. So we are going to need to macerate this guy. It's just gold. We'll get more. It's not that big of a deal. But definitely one of the big things we need to work on is getting power kind of taken care of and that kind of thing so that we can just get more stuff. So there's one. We're going to need to get up to triple batteries. We're going to need 3 of them. So something like that. And one of the next things that I'll want to do after dealing with all this stuff and actually getting a good bit of power with industrial craft, which I don't know what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna use a semi-fluid generator for the most part, but solar panels also help. So we'll probably do a combination of them. And the big thing is we're also going to have a nuclear reactor, which is only going to be powering 1 machine. Well, okay, I say 1 machine, probably like a couple machines, but not many. So that should be enough. And then what else is the things that we need? We need basic coils, which, yeah, just redstone. So we need 24 redstone, and we need 3 of these. So there's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're also going to need 5, 10 Anori crystals, plus the 5 empowered. So we just need 10 Anori crystals. So let's just throw this stuff on the ground. Not the gold. That stuff and that stuff. Laser them. And there we go. So this should get us our batteries. We're going to need 3 of these. I miscounted or something. Yeah, I doubled it. Whoops. So there's the advanced coils. And there's a single battery. And we just do that, double battery. And triple battery. So that will be good enough for right now. But just to give you an example, this is 5 million RF. And we're just going to throw that in there. And it's going to charge very quickly. This guy drains almost immediately. That guy's drained, but that's going to charge everything, and hopefully we see this go up pretty quickly once it's gone. Now with that taken care of, let's go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. So we wanted the battery. Battery's done. So the next thing to do is the traveler sack. This is a pretty cool item that is going to allow us to kind of carry more stuff. And we can even dump things into the system. And there, that goes up by over 1,000 RF per tick. Now, is it getting any power from this guy? Yes. So this gives you 700 RF per tick, but you can see how quickly this just repowers. It's so nice. So with that taken care of, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. So the triple battery will be super important for basically maintaining power in our drill. So the next thing we want is the traveler sack. This thing will allow us to carry more things. So there's 28 slots, which, how many does this have? So it's 3, this is 27 slots. So it's slightly bigger than this bag, but it's slightly better. And there's a couple reasons for it. So we're going to go with it. We could also make a void sack if we wanted, but it's not really needed. So we need to make another white bag. So that's just a bunch of string and wool. So chest. We have a ton of industrial hemp. So let's just get a bunch of stacks of it. And I think we can do this. Yeah, so there is a ton of string. So how many? We're going to need, let's see, 4 wool for the initial bag. And there we go. There's a tier 1. Now we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upgrades. And that requires some wood, some steel, and some string. So I want 5 upgrades because I want to upgrade this guy to tier 3. The reason being is more storage. That's pretty much it. We just need wood. And yeah, we have a bunch of wood. So if we need 5, we need 15. So that's enough. We just need 15 steel. And we'll be good to go. So let's see. 14. That is good enough because, well, we can get more pretty easily. So let's get that taken care of. We're going to get the Traveler Sack, and we're also going to get one other thing to help me with mining, and then we're going to work on some more environmental tech stuff. So let's get the upgrades. We need 5 upgrades. That is 4. We just need 1 more steel, because I forgot. I have plenty of steel now. That is one thing that, like, I just need to start making more resources, getting more stuff, and everything will be good. So we upgrade that to tier 2. And there's tier 3. Now I want to make sure that this bag is in fact empty. And we're going to make this guy tier 3 as well. So tier 3 is another row, which is good. That's what I want. And then for the Traveler Sack, we need some leather and some more string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leather might actually be an issue. Actually, no, it's not. We have cows around. And then a void crystal block, which is just a piece of coal. And we'll throw that in the laser. There we go. So we just need to go find some cows. We'll kill some cows. There's plenty of animals around here, so I'm not too worried. But eventually we'll probably have a little bit of a animal farm just in case we need it. I don't know that we will, but it's better to have it than not. We need 3. Yeah, so 1 more leather. And there we go. Cool. So we'll make the Traveler Sack, and the reason that this is so good is you can just completely dump an inventory into a chest or something with it. I believe you can filter it as well, so it's really good for that kind of stuff. It's basically another Baggins, just another normal bag that is a little bit more powerful. So there it is. And we can open it, we can whitelist, blacklist, all that kind of stuff. Make it so that items automatically get put into the bag. We're going to probably whitelist things. And I've got to remember how to do filters. We just put blocks there. So ores that we're going to get a lot of, like coal and that kind of stuff, as we get more ores, we can just whitelist things. And we can put different mods. So a lot of stuff is Neotech, for example. Actually Additions, Tech Reborn. But basically, this is going to be the thing that picks up. I'm going to try to get it to pick up most of the ores. And then what we can do is, let's say we have a bunch of coal. And there's a bunch of coal in here. Just shift right click. There's no coal in here. It's all in here. So that's the idea with that. As I go and find things, I will basically just say, hey, keep these things on us, and it'll just be another slot for getting more stuff without having to deal with, like, basically it's going to automatically pick up the ores, and that's what I want. So I don't know if there's another way. We should see. There is the book. Let's open it. So it'll automatically suck up items on the ground, a couple of filter slots. There's void sacks. You can right click on a container like a chest and move all the items into the sack, from the sack into the chest. And that's what I want, because eventually we'll have a little bit of an automation where I put all the ores into a chest and then it does its thing. So that's the idea. Anyways, actually, no, what we're going to do is we're going to blacklist. Duh. So we'll just blacklist things like stone and gravel, dirt, andesite, this and that. We can't do all of this stuff, so we can just do the stone types. And that should be enough. And basically, it won't pick up any of those stuff, any of those things. Oh, or dictionary. Items being passed only has to contain one of the or dictionary or all. Let's do that. So that all is stone. We can do gravel, dirt, basalt. Because I think that's what I find the most of. Now, things like alabaster we'll still have, but MBT data, that doesn't matter. Metadata, I don't think that matters either. So just kind of getting things so that I can not pick up as much in this inventory. Things like marble, stone marble, stone limestone. I wish it was a little bit different, but whatever. Anyways, enough of that. There is one more thing I want to make, and that is the ring of magnetizing. We want a magnet. And this is actually pretty easy to make. Just some lapis, some Inori crystals, redstone crystals, and a ring with more gold. So we need some iron, we need 2 lapis, 2 of these guys, and I believe it was 2 Inori crystals? 4 Inori crystals. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just throw this stuff down, and this guy will also allow us to, it's going to make things a lot easier because I can just go through the mine and mine all the things, and then it will just pick it all up for me. As well as the traveler sack doing its thing. So all in all, it's just going to be a lot easier for me. We just need one more piece of glowstone. And that's it. So we make a ring, and then we make, oh, wait, did I not pick up the, did I accidentally put the Inori crystals back? No, oh. Yeah, we're going to turn that off until I go mining. So that's what the automatic pickup does. It confuses me. So let's go ahead and make the ring of magnetizing. And there we go. So this guy, when active and charged, will pick up everything in basically in a small area. Now it stores a lot of power as well, so we'll just let that kind of set. So with that taken care of, a lot of stuff we just made. And all in all, it's a lot of really good stuff. And now we're going to start making things that are a little bit better. This stuff is going to make my life a lot easier because mining is going to be a little bit less required once we have void ore and void resource miners. Now these are multi-block machines like the solar panel that will basically, well, it will go, if we have to dig a hole, they have to see bedrock. So this is going to be the actually additions thing. And what I might do is put in a basement specifically for the void ore and resource miners so that we can have just a hole straight to bedrock. And that should be enough to do what I want. So let's take a look at these guys. So void ore gets ores, void resource gets resources like dirt, clay, some things that we're going to need later like mica, and different things. So requires a lot of power. It is, let's see, it is 800 RF per tick for the tier 1 because it is 400 ticks and it's 30 to 320,000 RF per duration. So it's 320,000 RF divided by 400 gives you, it's 800 RF per tick. It's decently big. Requires 20 machine bases, 2 laser cores, a bunch of structure blocks, which I don't want to make those, and then clear laser or lens, and then as you upgrade it, it requires more power. Actually, it's less power. It's a lot less power because that is 400 RF per tick. Huh? How much more difficult is the tier 2? It's not actually. It requires a lot of gold. That is an issue. Both of them do, and then diamonds after that. So we might want to actually make the tier 2. If I'm understanding that correctly, I think it's less power. Tier 3 is considerably less power. And wow, yeah, as you go up, it's less and less power. Now, tier 4 requires mica, which you can only get from the void resource miner, and nether stars. So that's not something I want. This requires mica and stabilized ender pearls, which requires end diamonds, which we are nowhere close to being able to make. We need to make this. We need to make the atomic calculator first, and that requires iridium. So that is something that we'll have to deal with later. So we can get at least to tier 2 at this point. So we might actually want to do that. That's going to require a lot of machine bases, and that is kind of what I want to look at today. So it requires a lot of basalt, or whatever material you want to use. We have a ton of basalt, so that's not a problem. Requires stone burnt, which we've made before. That is not an issue whatsoever either, just stone bricks. Again, we have plenty of stone, but the issue is going to be triple compressed cobblestone. We need to make compressed cobblestone, and I think the best way to do that is, well, I don't know. We can make a couple things. So there is a crafter. There's a crafter from RF Tools, which is pretty good. There's the crafter from Ender.io, which is also decently good. Stone crafter, ooh. How good are these? So let's see. So it's just wood, furnace, crafting. Okay, let's make one of those real quick. And let's see, do I have a furnace, I have a chest. Alright, cool, let's make one of these wooden crafters, and we can upgrade it to iron crafter pretty easily. So we just need a workbench, and we can make a, let's see, there's also the batch crafter. No, that's not gonna, dual crafter? I think that's just 2 crafting tables in one. Mechanical crafters. Let's try this wooden crafter because it's pretty simple to make. It requires fuel, and let's see how fast it is. So coal, we have plenty of coal, and what we want is we want to take. Let's just do the compressed cobblestone, and do that. And this one's pretty slow. Now, here's a question. If we get an item conduit, can we? Certainly. Insert, and then we could get like a chest, and let's get 9 of those so that we can come over here and get compressed cobblestone and do all this kind of stuff. So extract always active, and it will feed it. Okay, so that is cool. I think we might go with this. So this seems like it's a decently easy thing to make. Now the only thing is I want to look at progressive automation. Isn't there something that we can give it power? Yeah, we can give it an RF engine. So these are not that difficult to make. We put that in the fuel slot and then it uses RF. We can get stone upgrades. We can get upgrades pretty easily. Okay, cool. Now, does these stone upgrades work? So it's going to require redstonia, whereas how expensive that's a lot more diamonds. That's a lot of iron. But if we make the upgrades, it might be easier. So it's just wood. Let's get a ton of wood. Let's get some of these and a little bit of iron, and I've got more diamonds in here. I just don't want to process them quite yet. We have stone on us, so let's go ahead and make a wooden upgrade or 2, and then we're gonna make a stone upgrade or 2, and we just, no, that doesn't work. I swore we could do that. Oh, that's for something else. Never mind, never mind. Alright, so we'll have to just make this into a different thing. So let's make the stone crafter. We just need a crafting bench. We're gonna need 2 of those probably. And I just want to see how much faster is that guy. So let's grab some gold. And we can put... I want to grab the RF engine, so we need a redstonia block and an ori crystal. So 6. Diamonds. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's see about making an RF engine, and I want to see how fast this guy is. Oh, I need the ori crystals. Right. I forgot. Because we can just hook this up to the system and make compressed cobblestone pretty simply. Are there better ways to do this? Yes. There are a lot of better ways to do that. And did the magnet? Yep, the magnet worked. Alright, so there's a lot of better ways to do this, but this is a pretty simple. So let's just put this right here. And how fast is this? So compressed cobblestone. That is so much faster. In fact, I don't know if that's fast enough, but that is fast enough for the triple compress. So what we'll do is I'm going to let this kind of set and do its thing. I'm going to make one of these iron crafters. So it's just going to be a lot of iron and another stone crafter. In fact, I'm going to make 2 of them. And I'm going to have a cobblestone generator. We could always upgrade our cobblestone generator here, this guy. Tier 2, that is tiny progressions. So tiny progressions. The tier 3 is just a little bit of diamonds. Tier 4 is some blaze rods. Tier 5 is some emeralds. Tier 5 is going to be terrible, but tier 4, I don't know that we have any extra blaze rods right now. But tier 3 is just some diamonds. We can do that. And what we can do is we can just set that up. automatically produce a bunch of double compressed cobblestone using these RF engines and never have to worry about compressed cobblestone. And we can just make a pretty easy, simple thing. Now we could also make another one of these guys, which I might do. It's pretty easy. It just requires some lava, cobblestone and glass, and then iron. So I might go ahead and just make a new tier 3 rather than using this guy. Set him up so that we can start automatically making stuff. And I'm going to work on mining and all that kind of stuff. Setting up the extra utilities house so that we can start making stone burnt in mass quantities, and just kind of working on whatever I can so that we can start working towards these ore miners. Now these guys are going to require a lot of stuff, including the dreaded, and I actually mean this, the dreaded structure blocks. Now if you don't remember, the structure blocks are terrible. They are these guys, and they are the ones that require electrical steel. So we might make a tier 1 resource miner, which is 24 of those blocks, which is a lot of electrical steel, a lot of gold, and everything else is pretty easy. The machine bases is what we were looking at, is just triple compressed cobblestone, stone burnt, and basalt. That's easy. It's just going to take a lot of time with the triple compressed cobblestone, and honestly it's stone burnt because we don't have upgrades in our resonator. It's also going to require clear lens, or a lens of any color, and this is just clear glass, which is just sand and nether quartz. Easy enough. We're also going to need the laser core, which is pretty simple, and then the actual ore miners, other than the gold, are really easy. Diamond ore I have plenty of, and then we're gonna need 3 of these guys so that we can make one of these. And then I'm not gonna worry about collecting the ores or anything like that for a while. Once we're ready to move on to the tier 3 and tier 4, aka when we get mica and then get the stabilized ender pearls, then we'll start worrying about getting more stuff, but getting more of these guys and getting all the diamond ore that we need. But until that time, it doesn't really matter. Now, the nice thing, the nice thing, my nose is so stuffed up, is that we can get clay a little bit easier through the void resource miner with light gray lens. And that's just some dye with the clear lens, and we put that up into in the system when we do the lens, and it will get clay a little bit more often. Now eventually what we're going to want is a white lens, because that will give us preferred treatment on mica, a lot more chance to get mica than anything else. And if you've ever done anything with like Mine Factory Reloaded or whatever it's called now, it is Industrial Foregoing. That's what it's called now. I think that's the same mod. It's essentially the same mod, but it's much like the laser drill there, where the colored cores basically just gives you a better chance of getting things. It's still a random chance for everything, but it's just a better chance to get certain things. But with that being said, by the way, our power is already full again, so plan is I'm going to work on getting more mining done so that we can next episode probably start working on a couple of different things. Start working towards these void orb miners and resource miners, but then also working towards getting into the nuclear age. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!